How's it going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I'm here with another specialist guide, and today it was finally time to take a look at Sundance. So to be honest, I kind of have some sort of controversial opinion on Sundance, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. But in my opinion, if you don't really want to make some sort of YouTube shorts, just like Squidgy does, or you don't want to do those kind of crazy stuff, you don't really need to play the specialist. In my opinion, Sundance is a very good specialist in some of the maps, not all of them to be honest, because of the wingsuit. So if you guys don't know, Sundance is the specialist that has the wingsuit, and it kind of made a lot of buzz when it was first revealed in the Battlefield 2042 reveal trailer. And in my opinion, that was one of its most important purposes, hyping people. That's it. Because so many people were hyped for this wingsuit and stuff like that. And in my opinion, the wingsuit right now in 2025 isn't really that practical anymore. And it kind of makes going from point A to point B easier. But in general, when you play Sundance, you feel like there's something lacking there. And it's exactly the issue with Sundance. You have a wingsuit that only is useful and sort of practical in only some of the maps. We're going to take a look at the specialist, and we're going to take a look at the gadgets, the trait, and everything you need to know to be able to play Sundance effectively. So without further ado, guys, let's just go ahead and start the video. Just keep in mind that if you want to see the previous videos, there is a link down in the description. It will take you straight to a playlist, and there you can see all the videos that I've done on specialists. And I'll guarantee you guys, there's still a lot more to come. So if you don't find your favorite specialist video, just wait around and it will be dropping soon. So what's Sundance? For your specialist gadget, you have a scatter grenade. Now, in my opinion, this one is very important when it comes to playing Sundance. To be honest, even to get a T1 mastery, you need kills and assists with the scatter grenade. So it's very important on your journey to get a T1 mastery for Sundance. But to be honest, it's a very huge help when it comes to having more firepower. So we're going to talk about that in just a few seconds. According to the game, it detonates into a smaller cluster of explosives, dealing significant damage to infantry. But you can also damage vehicles with the scatter grenade as well. Just as you can see, I do it here. It's kind of effective against vehicles when they're low on HP, if you want to like steal some kills or something like that. But to be honest, it's just made for being used against infantry, and it's a great gadget when it comes to clearing rooms, like making a way for your team to push and just clearing out the way. For the specialist trait, however, you have the wingsuit. It's called the CDW-2A wingsuit. For Sundance, you don't have a parachute. All you have to do to activate the wingsuit is to jump from some height, like I don't know, it's like 7-8 meters, something like that. Then you jump, and instead of your parachute, you open up your wingsuit and start flying. That's basically it. Now, the more momentum you gain while dropping, basically the more height you drop from, the higher your velocities can be when flying with a wingsuit. And that's just physics, to be honest. It's not like a tip or anything. Just so you know, you can fly at very high speeds with Sundance in special maps. In maps like, I would say, Kaleidoscope, where you have these skyscrapers, and Manifest sometimes, and probably Exposure. Those are my favorite maps to play Sundance in. And apart from those maps, I do believe Sundance's wingsuit is kind of useless. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of hate from those Sundance players, but in my opinion, that's just reality. Now, one thing that's very important about Sundance is having like extra firepower. Now, this might be overlooked by a lot of people, but in my opinion, that is the most important thing when playing Sundance. That's the best thing that Sundance brings to the table. Not the wingsuit, in my opinion. That's just not on point, but having some more extra firepower is the thing. Now, what I mean by that is you have a scatter grenade as your gadget, right? Therefore, you can basically have another grenade, and then as your gadget, you can have something like the SPH grenade launcher, and then you'll be a moving freaking firehouse. It really can be very strong when it comes to explosives, but we're going to talk about that in just a few seconds when it comes to gadgets and stuff like that. But jumping back to the wingsuit, as I told you, if you guys don't want to make videos like YouTube shorts or like Instagram clips like Squidgy does, and if you don't want to get hyped over a trailer back in 2021 for a wingsuit, then you probably don't really need this wingsuit anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's completely useless, but to be honest, it helps you to, for example, get from point A to point B. How much do you really want to travel with it? Like, how much distance do you want to travel with this thing? How many of the maps in 2042 provide you those kinds of height to be able to jump from and like gain some momentum and then fly up to some sort of skyscraper or something like that? It's really not that big of a deal when you think about it. So if you want to be a better Sundance player, and if you want to be a Sundance player who plays towards the T1 mastery, you better get used to that scatter grenade. Now, the scatter grenade is a very interesting gadget. As you can see, it has 2 explosion phases. First of all, you throw it and it explodes into scatters. The first explosion deals damage, basically, but it's not lethal. So if your enemy is full HP, they will not die, okay? But you have 4 scatters after the first explosion, but each detonates independently. Now, in some tight areas, some tight maps like Stadium, Exposure even, like B-side of that map, Redacted, Reclaimed, the maps with tight angles and CQB combats, even Haven, to be honest, the scatter grenade is just perfect. You can throw it in, destroy gadgets, get some kills, and kind of kick the hornet's nest. That's what it does, really. Since everyone's trying to run away from it, from the explosions, and if you get the timing right, you can even push people and use the chaos as a ladder, as the old saying. With all that said, Sundance, in my opinion, isn't really a complicated specialist, to be honest. So you have a wingsuit that works perfectly fine. You don't really need to get a master class for it or anything. It's there, you can use it very easily. And there's a scatter grenade. All you have to do is to throw it. The only thing that you need to learn is where to throw this thing to get more kills. That's it. So when it comes to how complicated it is as a specialist, in the Assault class, I would rank it the lowest. Zane, McKay, and Dozer all are more complicated, a lot more complicated in my opinion than Sundance, and learning Sundance isn't really that big of a deal. To be honest, it was my first specialist in the game. I wasn't really hyped for it. It was just the first specialist in the Assault class, and I just wanted to get a T1 mastery for it first. So I started playing it. It was really easier. Then I switched to Dozer. Dozer was more complicated. Then I switched to McKay. McKay was a whole new world. And then Zane was a completely different specialist. In my opinion, Zane still is the hardest Assault specialist to master. But again, don't really make it so hard for yourself. Sundance is really not a complicated specialist. Now let's take a look at the gadgets and see what we've got here. So basically you have the IBA armor plate. You can always use the armor plate as you want. It's a good option that Assault class has, and you're free to use it. But in my opinion, if you want that extra firepower, there are better things you can do. So let's talk about C5 explosive. First of all, Sundance's wingsuit actually grants you a special ability to be able to jump down on vehicles. So if you have that height advantage, you can basically jump down on vehicles, plant some C4s on them, send them to hell before they even know you're there. So that's one of the things that you can only do when playing Sundance. The other thing you can do is having the SPH explosive launcher. So this one is a sticky grenade. It is very powerful in close quarter, even in long range, to be honest, and it's just extra firepower. You have 2 grenades each time you spawn. You can get some ammo from ammo crates as well, and it's a very good option. Or you can go for the smoke grenade launcher, which is very good when you want to flank people. And again, Assault class is the kind of class that you want to play like that with. You want to flank your enemies, you want to be unpredictable, and those kind of stuff. And having some sort of smoke, doesn't matter if it's a smoke grenade launcher or the smoke grenade, it doesn't really matter. All you have to do is having that smoke, that element of surprise will really help you. So again, based on your playstyle, I recommend the SPH explosive launcher, the smoke grenade launcher, or the C5 explosive. So for your throwable, you almost have all the options here. You can go with a frag grenade simply to have some more firepower. You can go for the spring grenade or the incendiary. But if you want to use the SPH grenade launcher, then you won't have the smoke grenade launcher equipped. Then in my opinion, you have to go with the smoke grenade because it's really a must for any Assault specialist. Apart from that, I've seen some people playing throwing knife with Sundance, wingsuit, then you come down behind someone without them even knowing you're there, and you just throw the knife and get a silent kill. You can do those kind of stuff, you know. Most of the times people do it for just making a YouTube short, honestly. So my recommendation here is that if you don't really want to play the smoke grenade launcher, just play the smoke grenade here. But if you play the smoke grenade launcher, then you need extra firepower, whether it be a frag grenade, an incendiary grenade, a spring grenade. Those kind of stuff will give you the extra firepower that you need. And just like that, you'll be able to have 2 grenades. But for the ultimate firepower, you can go ahead and have a frag grenade equipped here. You can go ahead and have the SPH explosive launcher, and then you have the scatter grenade as your main gadget as well. This way you have 3 explosive gadgets: the scatter grenade, the frag grenade, and the SPH explosive launcher, and you're basically a moving tank. You can get people from behind cover, you can damage vehicles, and you can be the top gun in almost any given close quarter map. So I hope you guys enjoyed and hope this video was helpful. Again, Sundance is the least complicated Assault specialist. Don't let people who do crazy stuff with this specialist kind of make it awkward and weird for you to play this specialist. Playing it is actually very easy. Again, it was the first specialist that I tried to play with in 2042, and I wasn't really having a hard time learning stuff. In fact, there was not a lot to learn. Just as I said, just make sure to use your throwables when you have to use them. In those close quarter maps, Sundance will do a very good job just injecting chaos into enemy players with all the explosive firepower that you have. It's going to be a bad day for your enemies if you know how to do that, but again, it's not a big deal. All you have to do is to throw it in the right corner. So just a little bit of environmental awareness. You have to know where the enemy is, throw the scatter grenade, throw the SPH, and you'll be good to go. Thank you all guys for watching, and until the next specialist guide video, stay cool.